So it ends like it began for me, and all that we can see, the light that we can believe. So you see, a love that's lost too deep. The dawn shines down on the sea. A ghost is all that we need. And I'm not saying it's all over. And I'm not saying that our time is up. And even though nobody's been before, it's all we live for. I'm not saying it's all over. And I'm not saying that our time is up. And even if nobody's been before, it's all we live for. When you're lost, baby, breathe. When there's nothing left to believe. When you're fading, you're all that I need. And I'm not saying it's all over. And I'm not saying that our time is up. And even though nobody's been before, it's all we live for. I'm not saying it's all over. And I'm not saying that our time is up. And even if nobody's been before, it's all we live for. So it ends.
Oh, not sure exactly how to change the the bit rate.
We can see,
Oh, it works. Look at that. This is good.
that we can believe.
We're here. We're ready for an exciting stream.
So you see, a love that's
Maybe we'll even take some callers. I don't know. Should we take callers?
dawn shines down
Don't know.
on the sea.
We'll take some callers.
A ghost is
Anyway, welcome. Nobody's really here yet, but it is a little earlier than 9. I think at 9 is when things will really kick off. So maybe we should yeah, we'll do this.
so it ends like it began for me, and all that we can see, the light that we can believe. A love that's lost too deep, the dawn shines down on the sea. A ghost is all that we need. And I'm not saying it's all over, and I'm not saying that our time is up. And even though nobody's been before, it's all we live for. I'm not saying it's all over, and I'm not saying that our time is up. And even if nobody's been before, it's all we live for. When you're lost, baby, babe. When there's nothing left to believe. When you're fading, you're all that I need. And I'm not saying it's all over, and I'm not saying that our time is up. And even though nobody's been before, it's all we live for. I'm not saying it's all over, and I'm not
Well, maybe nobody will come.
time is up.
It'll just be us. It'll just be us for a little while, which is fine. I'm going to turn on the camera. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. This is an experiment of trying to do morning rhetoric show. Huh, okay. Let's fix this. And trying, of course, to get over wet hair. Joyful wet hair. So until people show up, I think I'm just going to do work. And then when somebody shows up, we'll do some more rhetoric stuff. But the thing I really need to do today is submit some grades. So we're going to do that. Maybe play a little Spotify. Hello. Will I get in trouble for playing Spotify? Probably. Probably. Uh-oh. Did I cut myself off? Wow. There we go. Now I can listen to my music and not worry about a copyright problem. But I'm thinking Wednesday morning might not actually be the best. Even though people said it was the best, maybe it's not the best time to stream. Oh, boy. A lot of work to do today. We'll keep this thing going for like half an hour, maybe an hour. See if anybody comes by. I don't think anybody's going to come by. That is my prediction. Okay, so I think I did all the speech feedback. I think I have a couple more to do, so let's do those. Oh, my goodness. I wonder if my streaming is really that bad. Is it a bad quality stream? I wonder. People might be tuning in and I'm not getting... It would be nice to have a Wednesday morning talk show. That would be pretty fun. But I do need to change the bit rate. That might be good. I can't spell recipe. Pretty bad at it. Now I got to figure out what these grades mean. I'm pretty terrible about grades. I'm not like the best at grading. I'm not really all that invested in it even, really. Well, somebody looked at it. Somebody came in here and looked at it. Hello, person. I certainly don't think anybody's going to stick around that long. They might pop in and see me looking at my phone or something like that. Let's see. Yeah. Grading, not the most exciting thing, but once some people get in here, we can talk about some interesting topics. A variety of topics. But we'll have to see. I think maybe the people who said Wednesday morning were good were people who were like, in theory, that sounds good to me. I certainly don't think these people are like, But anyway, I think I need to close this window. Yeah, what I should do is probably get the Steam, what's it called, SteamYard again? Because that was pretty good. The SteamYard was pretty good. Because then you can broadcast everything at the same time. I think that's good. Facebook seems to be a little bit underrated. There's all kinds of interesting stuff on Facebook that I think people miss out on. Just because it's Facebook, it's like for old people. There's a lot of interesting stuff being posted there. Mostly, what I find being posted there is horrifying content from people who shouldn't be teaching. All right, I think I'm finally ready to assign some grades here. This part is like a little bit annoying because the way I do my rubric, I have to copy copy each thing into its own separate. Oh, I think I did that already. And then I just have to make PDFs, I think. But I might not even make PDFs. I might just send them as Word files. I don't know. I feel like the PDF is like better in that way because the PDF will retain the. Yeah, that's everybody. I just got the last two to do, and then I'm good. And then I just have to assign the grades, which I'm just not very good at. I use grades more as a cattle prod than anything. I'm like, okay, I want them to move in this direction, so I'll give them a bad grade to make them move. Which I don't know. Maybe it's ethical. I just don't think there's anything ethical about grading in the first place. So I let there be a lot of wiggle room. Plus, if you're in university for grades, like, no, that's not why you're here. You're here to become new. That is the function of the university. Is transformative. Some people say indoctrination, but I don't think that is the appropriate word. But they are right. People who say university is indoctrinating are right that it's a significant transformation of the self. They're right about that part. They're right about that part. Well, one person popped in. I feel okay about that. But I think it takes a while to get a lot of people. I think I should call all these files the same name. Speech 2 feedback. I'm tired. I went to bed too late. I don't know why this thing puts periods after everybody's name. Microsoft Word. My students kind of feel like Microsoft Word is for old people. I love Microsoft Word. It is very powerful. However, LibreOffice is also powerful. OpenOffice is powerful. I do miss AMI Pro. That's what I used in college, and I got very, very good at the hotkeys. It's like when you learn one set of hotkeys and you like don't need the menus for anything. But it's also a very different computing environment. You have a very different computing environment where, things are a little bit different. I think we should increase the streaming rate. What do you think? Boom. Okay. So now all I have to do is go through these, and when I'm ready to give somebody a grade, I just go through, look at it, make a PDF. At least Word isn't doing that thing where it let's see. What's 6 times 5? 35. So there's a maximum of 35 points. So 34, 33. What happened? I think I have to use the on-screen keyboard. I'll do my hotkeys. Those things. Pretty rough. Pretty rough. Oh, yikes. This is a very bad grade. All right. I can't give him that. I'll give him a different grade. It's pretty good music. Wish I could play it, but, you know. Wish I could play it. Can't play it. Don't want to get that copyright trouble. All right. Oh, gosh. It put me in a weird place. Very strange, guys. Okay. That's pretty bad. Pretty bad speech. I'm just going to do these in order. So many people didn't do it that I'm just going to do these. Actually, maybe I should just make the PDF for each one. Well, no, I like looking at them. I think that's a B. I got to get a better workflow here. That one's a B. I mean, this is a lot of files to make, but I think it's better for the students, you know. I think it's better for them to kind of have a little bit more of a detailed. Oops, I almost gave somebody the wrong grade. Once I get a workflow down, it should go pretty fast. It should go pretty fast. We have a lot of work to do, guys. Well, I don't think anybody's going to come to the live stream. Maybe I should do it in the evening. It could be a better time. You know, could be a better time. Yeah, I wonder why it keeps wanting to save it. It's very strange. Oh, I also have to make a gorgeous PowerPoint. I could do that today, tomorrow. This is also, I think, a B. Yeah. A lot of B's this time around. I think people are going to be mad at me. But, you know, that's professor life, guys. Huh? This was kind of a fun one. Somebody got hit by a car. Not fun, but a good speech topic. Okay. All the grades went down. But I think that's sort of it's kind of the expectation, I'd say. Given that I teach them more, I want them to do more. They don't want to do they don't want to do anything really, very little, because what they've learned from schooling is the best way to do schooling is what won't be saved? I don't understand. Okay. Sure. What they've learned from schooling is the best way to do school is minimum effort for the A. And that's what they think school is, right? And they also don't think classes are important unless they are required. Or even if they're required, they're not important unless the student deems them to be important. But most of the time, there's plenty of evidence that the class is not, according to the student, the class is not real world and not important, and the professor is dumb and da-da-da. They have all of this discourse to apologize and get out of these things. Tons of it. So I find it to be pretty annoying myself. No, I'm live from one of our state-of-the-art computer labs at St. John's University. They had to cut some corners, though, because we have this basketball team that they call the basketball team AI, because its relationship to money is AI's relationship to water. That's a joke. All right. So anyway, like I was saying, I think the students have plenty of ways to discount a class, and professors have very few ways to make a class valuable. It's pretty tough place to be in. I have to look at this one again because yeah, the gaming computer lab is nice, but there's like 12 computers in there, and it's really for our it's really also for sport. It's like to treat video games as a sport. I mean, we can make arguments about that. But that was why it was built. I remember when it was being built, the head of academic computing came and met with me. And we talked about the goals and whether there should be classes. And I was thinking about teaching a rhetoric of video games class, but it didn't work with the gamification idea of the administration. But this is a very typical IT resource computing center where I work in St. John's. Very typical. State of the art. But they won't tell you what state or what art. Okay, I think I'm figuring these grades out. Probably should give this person a C, but to them, anything below an A is a death sentence. They're going to get shart. They're going to get shart. State of the fart. I was reading that comment, and I was trying to say they feel like they're getting shot if they make anything under an A. Students are very funny like this. Which soundboard is the one I really want? Oh, this one is the good one, I think. Does this have... It has a classic.
Damn, I'm late for class.
Good old President Obama. But which soundboard is the one that has everything I want? I guess it's this one, but that cheering is not the best cheering. I don't know. Anyway, just doing a little grading and a little class maintenance while waiting for the stream to populate. I don't understand why it keeps saying comments will not be saved. I did everything. Like, is this just a Canvas problem? Yeah, they did. Basketball team took it all. When you look at the basketball team, the first thing that should come to your mind is this has no association with the university or college. And I think that that's the way that universities talk about athletics. They want to remove university or college from it completely. That's just like being a fan or something. But I also feel like there's several things going on with that. One is you look at the data about people's trust in higher education. And people who have done a bachelor's degree or higher have incredibly low trust and put incredibly low value in higher education. And those who've never been to college respect it hugely. So maybe this is a way to participate in something that they respect in a huge way. They give, I bet you, people who don't have any association with St. John's give the most money in terms of small donations. I think the people who, the alums who give the 30 or 40 million and the bequests and stuff, I don't know. Maybe they are the most, I don't know. I feel like the data, like with fundraising, you look at any big fundraising campaign, and six to seven donations make up 80-90% of the fundraising. So maybe it is more among the wealthy alums. But I feel like you get a bunch of little donations from people who, like Long Island people who associate themselves with St. John's, and that's their fandom. They want to be a part of it, so they donate $50, $100. But certainly it can't be as significant as like the $30 million gift we got from that board member a month or two ago. But I feel like that was a work, that was like a long time coming. Many hands in the pot, many cooks. Incoming text message. I don't want to lose my streak. I'll just send an extra picture just in case. Oh, I got an Instagram message. Let's see what that says. Just a lot of likes. But nobody's really watching the stream except for George. Thank you, George. Thank you for your contributions. If I actually graded these people based on the points on my rubric, everyone would have the highest grade would have been a D. This is am I too strict? No, it is the children who are wrong. I do kind of like spotting the grades, I'm like, It feels like a C. But if I added up the points, it would be an F. Can't fail them all, can you? Can you fail them all? I don't know. Can you fail them all? I don't know.
Toasty.
This is a pretty good grade. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I'm doing some grading. But, like, I did all the hard parts. Like, it's funny, like, with my new commuting plan, like, I live now out in Long Island. And with my new commuting plan of taking the train, I was like, my whole relationship to work has changed in an unexpected way. Because, like, yesterday on the train, I did all the grading I put off all weekend, with the exception of, like, looking up some debate cases, which I plan to do this afternoon. For those of you in that class, it's coming, don't worry. But I did most of the, like, kind of dumb grading. Grading you don't have to really concentrate too much on. But I've also done a ton of writing on the train, which I absolutely love. That advantage. I think it's fantastic. So this is just me finishing up. Making PDFs out of the grade sheets and calculating the grade, looking at the different categories in the rubric. I can't believe this guy got such a high grade. Well, the rubric don't lie, does it? Well, I have a rubric. People ask me that all the time. I think a rubric keeps you fair and honest, and it also checks back implicit racism, which I think is the best argument for having a rubric. Said you have to look at these categories and be like, did they actually do that? Whereas if you're just like watching somebody speak and they have they're presenting a female body, male body, black body, non-white body, queer body, all these things have implicit bias impact on how you evaluate they're doing, especially in something as socially coded with power as speech. Then you're like, oof, because it's like kind of like, it's kind of crazy because you're like, oh my God, all my black students got lower grades. Well, probably not using a rubric that checks your implicit bias. It should be like balanced. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, among the men, women, black, white, pretty balanced. And the people who have bad grades deserve them. And recently I've seen a trend where white guys kind of mail it in school. And I wonder if anybody's researching that. Somebody's probably researching that, don't you think? I don't know. Hope so. Come on, viewers. Where are you? George, beat the bushes. This is a tough one. What is this going to be? This is a B. Ha 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 ha. That's a good one. I like that. Oh, I can put user in timeout. Oh, that's very funny. No, I don't want to have a chat anymore. How do I go back to the Okay, well. Oh, there we go. No, we're not going to do any of that. No, this is a family stream. We're not going to do any nastiness. Okay, let's see. Where were we? I got distracted by YouTube controls. Now I can yawn. I don't know why I'm so yawny today. But yeah, hopefully today, tomorrow, actually this weekend, I plan to write. That's what I'm going to do this weekend. I'm very excited about. Because hopefully I'll have everything cleared off my desk. And then I can work on writing about debate, which is something I read about quite a bit. And I don't really ever get tired of writing about it because everybody keeps screwing it up so well that there's plenty to write about. So, I mean, I don't know. But I also have videos I need to make. I got to make a video on Jefferson Fisher's book, which I got this summer, and I thought was absolute garbage. Gotta make a video on that. Another book on argument. There's so many bad books on argument, and more to come as people start to write about Charlie Kirk, right? I hope to get into that wave. But that really means I need to pick up the pace on my writing. Gotta pick up the pace. I have made a couple of videos about it, but it's funny how people will send me DMs and private messages about it because the tension is so high about talking about Charlie Kirk. People are scared to do it, and it kind of has given me the only time in my life where I feel like a nuclear scientist, where I feel like I'm working with incredibly dangerous materials rather casually, and people are like, I don't want to be anywhere near radioactive isotopes, and I don't want them near you. And I'm like, look, I'm fine. I'm just in the office. This is fine. Did I already do her grade? Don't think I did because there's no PDF. Wonder what the deal. Yeah, I didn't do it yet. How funny. She's one of the first people to go. I thought I already did that grade. But anyway, first time in my life I've ever felt like a nuclear engineer or a virologist or something. Where I feel like really, where I feel like really that I'm working with stuff that people think is incredibly dangerous. But I mean, if you don't get blowback on talking about a controversial figure, your position is probably not a tenable position, or you're just doing it to make money, right? Like the what's his name, Jimmy Kimmel. Like this is obviously just to like increase viewership, and now every good liberal watches his show. Yeah, you just lost your job with that comment, George. Good job. You were insulting to a man of honor. There are multiple Charlie Kirks, by the way. Not like body doubles, but there are some people who never encountered Charlie Kirk the politician and only ever encountered Charlie Kirk the Christian father. So you're seeing these stories where people are like showing people videos of Charlie Kirk and they can't believe that he would say those things because they see him as a leader in a Christian community or something. And they're like, oh, he wouldn't say these things. But then you also have these other people who are just kind of taking the received view of Charlie Kirk's quotes and not looking at them deeper or deeply at all. And they're not looking at them strategically, and they're just like being opposed to them because of the clip that made the news or whatever. But Charlie Kirk was no fool. Oh, God, we just got the text that they're going to turn on the heater at the university. That's always a nightmare. Whenever they decide to turn on the furnace, it's like 80 degrees for the next week, and everybody's just dying. People are passing out. People are sweating their balls off. It's horrible. Anyway. I dislike switch from summer to winter mode. I don't like it. I like it seasonally. I like it in nature, but I don't like it at the university. Kind of annoying. Okay. We're almost done here. So many people skipped out on speaking, which makes grading so much easier. I absolutely love it when this happens. And I'm like, don't worry. I was so mean to them. I was like, don't worry. I'll still help you achieve your C-. It's still within reach. Unless you skip class more. I don't understand. It's like I can't make the class any easier. But the students are always like, but you can. I was like, could I do that? Could I really just give everyone an A and say, see ya? Probably not. But they were like not saying no. I was like, that's the only thing I could do. It's the only thing I could do. Okay. I think he did an excellent job. I'm still going to give him an A- to keep him guessing. Speech 2, there's only been one A. So I like it. Cattle prod grading. It's my philosophy. I should write a book called Cattle Prod Grading. I'll probably get in big trouble for that. People would come for me. How dare you think of the students as animals? Well, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that, like, grades are not a result. Grades are a tool. Grades are part of the selection of tools one has as a teacher. The trick, I think, comes in when you're like, well, when you don't follow Paulo Freire's advice, and you say the teacher is an authoritarian, not an authority. He says it backwards. He's like, the teacher is an authority, not an authoritarian. And that's how you should run your classroom. And that's a good quote. I like that quote a lot. But a lot of people think of grades as like the final say. I'm smarter than you, MAGA kids. I think a lot of teachers are into that these days. But without that grading power, they wouldn't be able to argue. So, like, for example, on Facebook, I see all of these terrible, terrible posts about teaching debate and about teaching speech, where they're like, yes, you failed because you didn't use a peer-reviewed source. Now, that person probably could not make a coherent argument to a room of 19-year-olds about why a academic source or a peer-reviewed source is more valuable than something they'd find in the media on YouTube. Yeah, George, thank you for the paraphrasing. And look at that citation. Wow. Yano 2025. I have been cited in debate rounds before. I never thought that day would come. But I was used in a couple of arguments. The most aggressive was years ago. There's a Wake Forest debater who used a lot of my writing and saw me at NCA and followed me into the bathroom when I was about to go produce my second negative constructive, shall we say? And, or should we say he was interrupting my prep time? I don't know. We're a little late on the laughing there. It's okay. But he wanted to talk to me about my ideas. But there have been a number of different debate programs who've used, well, 3 at least I know of, use my stuff as evidence. I never thought that would ever happen. I think it's a little strange. But it's also interesting. It's super interesting well, debate is a place to learn. So bringing it into a realm of examination, like a debate round, I think is very cool. It's very cool. All right, last one. God, this was so easy to grade. Thank you, people. Thank you. Thank you, losers, for not coming to class. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that's a good grade. She did well. You know, it's like these simple speeches. They really actually do a good job, you know? Like why the recipe on the back of the chocolate chip bag is the superior cookie recipe. Now that's an argument we can get behind. Okay, I hope when it says changes or not be saved, did it save it? Well, there she is. Let's go look. Yeah, it's all right there. And yeah, the file is there. Okay. Well, I don't know. Yeah, what does it say? Changes will not be saved. I don't understand what changes it is talking about. All right, time to go plug in the Fs. F, 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 F. Cool. 1A. Yeah, changes will not be saved. It's like, you know, I hit the button to go back to the grading, and it's like, you have unsaved changes. But then I look at the grading, and all the changes have been saved. So what the hell, Canvas? What the hell? Don't like you, Canvas. I recently bought some movie channels for my cable package, and then this morning when I was waking up, instead of like watching the news like a good citizen, I was watching Mortal Kombat. Toasty! Like the old Mortal Kombat movie. Toasty! Toasty!
Flawless victory.
When I was in college, Mortal Kombat 2 was a very popular arcade video game, and we had one in the not the dining hall, but like this cafe kind of place at Texas A&M. And there was one there, and it always said, send $5 and this code in the mail, you can get a CD of Mortal Kombat sound effects. And so I did that, and oh my gosh, the gift that keeps on giving. All the music, sound effects, fight noises, so good. Well, we've had 3 viewers so far. I expect a little bit more after the response that the thingy got, the poll. But maybe the quality of the stream is not good. Could be that. Yeah. Friendship. That's a good one. Friendship. I like the questioning tone. Public speaking syllabus. Here we go. Okay, let's look at whether or not. One thing that's interesting about the students today is that they have really, they're not interested in Discord. October 17th, that's only a couple of days from now. So we're not going to do that one until, we'll push it back, I think. Speech 3 will be due. I don't think we can do it then. Well, how many days should I talk about Gorgias? Probably just 2 days. So maybe the 24th, or should I make it due on Halloween? That's kind of mean. Or maybe I'll make it due on the 28th. Let's do that. Speech 3 on October 28th. That gives me 3 days with them to work on what they need to improve. I think that's fair. Yeah. I shouldn't put the dates in the syllabus because I always change them. 28th. Let's do that. Speech 3 on the 28th. Speech 3 on the 28th. Do it in Jack Kerouac voice. Speech 3 on the 28th of October. Speech 3. Uh-oh. Typing is a problem. I got to turn off the hotkeys. Let's see. Where's that? No. Where is the hotkey button? Let's see. Hotkeys. Yeah, it's just kind of weird that like it doesn't really have a turn off. Doesn't really have a turn off hotkeys. I wish it would. Oh, and now it's like resetting all my stuff. Okay. You can do it. How many points is this one worth? We don't really have a lot of time left. Like it's October 15th. In a month will be November 15th. Then we're only 10 days from Thanksgiving. And then when we come back, we're exactly 10 days from finals. So what is that, a month roughly? It's not really a lot of time to teach anybody anything, to be honest. 150 points. Okay. So I try to make the... Oh, Jesus. Why does this do this? This is my favorite one, George. This is for In the Bin. In the Bin, I feel bad for you opening. Yeah, we only have weeks. Weeks! I would say 3 usable weeks before final exams. And final exam week is not usable because everyone's stressed out about everything they didn't do all semester. Toasty! So they're not ready to learn. But I heard something interesting from a student the other day. Well, I heard it through another student. I wasn't supposed to hear it. But it's like, why is he so demanding? It's just an elective. Which tells you everything you need to know about how they view class. But college is not a place to college is a place to acquire credits and acquire certification. It's not a place to broaden one's mind. It's not a place. This is why I like writing depressing stuff to my old grad student who's like, college is no longer a way to access the American dream. And I say, well, college is kind of a failed experiment because what we've allowed it to become is an incredibly expensive one-sided HR vetting process where the student pays for an extremely expensive HR vetting process, which ultimately is meaningless. It's ultimately meaningless. But HR departments can look at a bachelor's degree and see a 3.8 and see summa cum laude or whatever, and it could be good. Could be good. We got to get the university away from this HR nonsense and back to being a place to explore who you could be, or a place to practice being other than you are. Like the ultimate metaphor for college for me is the dressing room at a clothing store, trying on different outfits. Which outfit you eventually leave with is going to be a result of all those different outfits that you tried on. So is college indoctrination with that metaphor? Yeah, you're going to buy some clothes. We want you to. But do we have a position on what clothes you leave with? No. Well, most people don't, I would say. Toasty! There might be some like people with an axe to grind, but most college professors shouldn't have an axe to grind at all, really. They should just be like, I'm happy that you're trying new things. I'm happy you're trying on ideas. But college shouldn't be the place you go to where you shouldn't wear what you came in with. You should change up your look. L-E-W-K, your look. Is that how it's spelled, kids? L-E-W-K, Luke. Submission type, no submission. Due date, what do we say, October 28th? Yeah, let's do October 28th. Save and publish. I know I'm moving stuff around from the syllabus, so I need to make an announcement. Speech 3 will be due October 28th. Hello, folks. I have updated the assignments so that we have adequate time to prepare for speech 3. It will be due. Would it be more dramatic if you could see what I'm typing? I feel kind of bad like on stream showing like behind the scenes canvas. I probably shouldn't do that. I'll just dramatically narrate it and you can like imagine. You can imagine what it looks like.
Flawless victory.
It will be due on October 28th. All topics are welcome, but perhaps from our reading of Plato's Gorgias, you will find an interesting topic. No, you will not find it. An interesting topic will appear in your mind. Now that's the perfect mix of inspiring and threatening, which is what I want to accomplish as a teacher. Toasty! I like that very much. Okay, great. We're going to publish that. Now we need to work on the Gorgias. I can show you that. Maybe we can work on that because I need to make a PowerPoint and I need to get ready for that lecture. I probably should do some more grading, but I think I want to take a little bit of a break from grading because I find that grading, I become a little bit harsher. The more I do it in order, like I become a little bit, and it's too early in the morning for the check against that, which is whiskey. Right? So you have a couple of sips of whiskey. You read the student assignment, pretty good. You read the next student assignment, it's not as good. Have a little sip of bourbon, it improves. So this has been my strategy. And this is why I am like, and George will tell you, this is why I am a shit teacher. Toasty! Absolute. Because I'm not interested in any of the technical, I don't know how to describe it. In teaching, I'm not interested in any of the technical, procedural rules of teaching. I'm not interested. I'm interested in a practice of improvement. Just full stop. This is why coaching debate was so attractive to me, because it didn't have any of this stuff like attendance, assignments, progress reports, nonsense, assessment. Well, it has assessment, but the assessment can be done in different ways. So like my debate class improved 1,000% when I got away from technical issues. This semester now it's like, okay, we've done a practice debate. How can we change the format to get more of what we want out of it? And I think that's like a fantastic place to be. They're of course, they're all new debaters, so guess what they want more of? They want longer cross-examination time, right? Of course they do. Of course. everybody loves the cross-examination because that's the bad model of debate we bring to school. So we're going to do that. It's going to be unsatisfying. And they'll be like, well, we need longer prep time. We need longer speech times. Eventually, the whole thing is that debate is unsatisfying because that's what debate's supposed to be. Debate is supposed to be unsatisfying. Debate is supposed to be, you're not supposed to get this thrill of the kill out of it. It's like, it's like the classic literary plot of revenge, and then the character gets the revenge they want. They're right. And they're not sad. They feel empty. Any well-written character is going to be like that, Any well-written character, once they get their revenge, is going to be like, why am I not happy? Why am I not satisfied by that? That's the thing. That's the deal, bro. And that's the way debate should feel too. You win a debate, it's going to feel like you shouldn't have won. And that's good. That is really good. We should all be suspended in the gelatin of discourse in that way, I think.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, anyway, welcome, viewers who are just joining us. We're about to embark on doing a little bit of work. What I did was I told them to read the first 25 pages or so of Joe Sachs' translation of Gorgias. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Okay, where am I? Maybe this is a better stream because I'm not here. I don't know. Wonder if I should. Yeah, where am I? I'm not. Yeah, what the hell? There I am, but way too big. We'll put myself. I guess down here is the best spot, but still, it's like, damn. Yeah, not quite there. But anyway, this translation is good for teaching. I like this Focus Publishing. I like this one, Joe Sachs from St. John's College, Annapolis, the real St. John's. This one is a good translation for students because it's so very normal English and not the 19th century. So what I did was I gave them a series of questions. I can show you those questions. Let's see. I've been pulling a George actually. I've been using Microsoft Word instead of the board. The students hate the board, but then they don't like Microsoft Word either. They're just like, oh God. Oh, actually, do you guys want to make fun of some debate topics before we do this work? We could do that. This was sent to me by somebody who's at the NPDL, the National Parliamentary Debate League, whatever the hell that is. But what strange things people have done to debate these days. Once again, I'm coming to you with no video picture. Why is this happening? I think it's because I am incompetent when it comes to putting together these scenes in OBS. Okay, so let's look at this. First of all, NPDL, this was sent to me by a fan of the podcast to trash. And so that's what we're going to do. NPDL. Okay, so this idea of striking emotion is just so odd to me. Like, what is the point of striking a motion. The motions should be planned to maximize learning and maximize engagement, learning about either arguments or learning about the world. I don't understand why you'd have to have a strike procedure unless you're interested in gamesmanship. If you're interested in that, then have a strike procedure. It doesn't make any sense. And all the Zoom debate and stuff, I don't know. It's all anyway. So here are the final round things. And these info slides are just a killer. Because the info slides, as I've written about many times, define the debate in the terms that the people who set the motion think the debate should be defined in. Instead of writing it as the feminist movement, this house would embrace being a feminist killjoy. And then the debaters can define what that is. It doesn't have to be Sarah Ahmed's idea. They can figure it out. And if they can't figure it out, they're going to go look it up. Or let them look things up.
Oh.
This is the thing that drives me nuts about parliamentary debate. Let people look things up on their phone or their computer. The only reason people don't let them do that, or they don't let them have motions ahead of time, is because they're like, oh, that makes for unfair competition. Well, what exactly are you teaching? Are you teaching competition or are you teaching argument? Are you teaching rhetorical argument or are you teaching a game? And in debate, they're different things. It's not like chess. Not like chess at all. Because it's not abstracted to oversimplistic terms like chess is. Chess teaches strategy automatically. And you don't have info slides about the knight or whatever. It teaches it. So this isn't a strategy game like that. And it's not a game that you can, I don't know. You can't abstract learning from that. But anyway, let's look at these motions and see if they're any good. This House believes that violence committed by the state against its own citizens poses a greater threat to democracy than violence committed by non-state actors. That's a good motion. However, the research is pretty much on the side of the first one. Demo side is what that's called. No info slide there. Interesting. What violence is, da-da-da. You know, these people. The other thing is the people who run these tournaments think all the debaters are dumb as shit. They really do. They think they're dumb. Like I was in these tab rooms at places like Yale and everything. They think everyone's stupid. And they'll be like, oh, they'll never be able to understand the motion. Understand it for who? Understand it for who? Your understanding? Isn't understanding part of the goal of debating? I mean, winning a debate should not make you feel confident. It should make you feel like, how did we win that? And then you think and reflect on it. That's what should happen. This House believes that on balance, equating speech with violence does more harm than good. I don't know. These are all kind of bad. Sarah Ahmed would be a cool thing to debate, but everyone should be given a copy of the book, and maybe the publisher should sponsor the tournament and no one has to pay any entry fees or anything like that. But What do I know? All of my ideas about getting debate to have sponsors or anything are shut down by all the debate coaches who aren't interested in anyone looking at the debates, because then the gig would be up that they can't teach anything, that they have nothing. They teach rules of an esoteric game that many, many people choose not to play rather than play. The eccentrics come and join the debate team because they like the eccentric rules of the tournament. The students who want to engage in a thoughtful process of learning do not participate. And that's the majority of debate teams around the United States. This House opposes the ideal of historical objectivity. Does this really need a info slide? I guess it does if you want to say Leopold von Ranke, if you want to be able, I've read this 19th century. How is this associated with him? But this isn't what historical objectivity is, as it actually happened. This is like historical objectivity is that history is not written by the winners. That would be a better motion. This House believes history is not written by the winners. That would be a much better and much more fun motion and accessible. And every audience kind of knows what this means. They kind of know what it means. They kind of get it. This House supports the teleological view of history. This would be Hegelianism. This House supports Hegelianism, right? Wouldn't it be? Or Marxism, maybe? This house prefers genealogy as the primary method of history. And this info slide is, of course, incorrect. Genealogical history is developed by thinkers such as Michel Foucault. No, by Nietzsche. This person is not. They've done a drive-by on Foucault. They kind of know about him. They've read Wikipedia. They've watched some YouTube videos. Not a thinker. This is not an educator. Didn't put these together. Somebody who's really into YouTube wrote these. Pretty sad. But I think that or somebody who took a what do you call it? Historiography, undergraduate historiography course maybe, and kind of went to the classes. Pretty bad. Foucault, in every interview, when he was asked about genealogy, which was not his method, Foucault's method was archaeology, is what he called it, thinking that the superstructures of power, the superstructures of relations would be underneath all the dust that we stand on today. He eventually abandoned that and went for Nietzsche. So in every interview, they'd be like, your method, genealogy. He's like, no, there's no Foucauldianism. There's, I'm a Nietzschean. I practice Nietzsche's ideas. Every interview, he says this. So here's somebody who hasn't read the interviews. Examines how ideas, practices, and institutions emerge through complex and often uneven historical processes. Well, every historian would agree with this, not just genealogy. Genealogical history focuses more on discontinuities and power relations. Well, it really focuses on the changing of what counts as knowledge is what really is the shift in genealogy. So genealogical history says there's a break, and now knowledge of biology or knowledge of grammar has changed. The most important one is knowledge of economics, I would say. So Foucault points out that there's a difference in wealth. Wealth is, for a long time, collecting physical money like Scrooge McDuck. Then wealth changes to buying power, which might not be physical money. Wealth changes to returns, right? So, I don't know. These are just, I don't know. I just feel like you can have these debates, and you don't have to have the info slides. You don't have to do it. Or tell people ahead of time, hey, we're going to debate history and genealogy. Read. Like, they're not, this is so bad because it gives the people participating in it a sense that they can know these incredibly complicated ideas through a stupid paragraph. Can't do it. This house regrets the human tendency to ascribe moral purpose to suffering. You do not need an info slide for that. What the hell? This is so dumb. But again, this is necessary for you to do the technical. You did the technical thing everybody believes you have to do as opposition. You did the technical thing everybody believes you have to do as government. Like, we should just return to debates as defined by audiences, where people debate topics audiences can access in a normal sort of speaking way. I remember when I first got involved with BP, everybody had this stupid belief that the excesses of the American debate tradition, which is obsession with tournament competition, would be checked back by the Europeans. That did not happen. Go and look at any video on YouTube of a modern debate in the past couple of years, and people are speaking rapidly and spending 2 minutes setting up rules for how the debate should be judged in a technical way. What burdens we're going to avoid, what burdens we're going to accept. Not the way debates reach audiences, not the way we study argument, not the way we study rhetoric, not the way we even study persuasion. It's the way we play an esoteric game for people who either can't understand or don't want to understand rhetorical argumentation. They think it's a mistake. And they want a more pure, sort of logical. And then they feel superior to other people. They're like, well, I won this debate tournament. I understand these technical logical things, and so I'm smarter than everybody else. No. A good debate would be like, wow, I'm so dumb. That's what we want. We want a kind of a opposite of hubris. We want a kind of a humility. This house would replace traditional property taxes in the U.S. with harbinger taxes. Whatever. Oh, okay. Why not? Why say this? You're just trying to prove that you're smart. How about just say, this house would replace traditional property taxes in the United States with self-reported valuing of property and taxation. But this is the whole debate here. Like, it's so dumb. This house would prefer a world with karmic reincarnation. What in the hell? That doesn't even make any... Why would that... It's not even a... Like, I just can't even speak to how stupid that motion is. On In the Ben, we used to have a bit called motion sickness, and that one is definitely, we got to grab the barf bag for this one. It's just, I don't have the words to explain how stupid that motion is. This house would classify artificial intelligence jailbreaking as a form of cybercrime. Okay. Why not just have a competition on AI and invite AI people to judge it and just tell everyone the topics will be AI? That people research things and come prepared. In market economies, this house prefers broad-based value-added taxes over import tariffs. I guess. How about this house? This house regrets import tariffs. How about that? That's just more direct and simple. Have a nice debate with that. In the U.S., this house would prohibit housing restrictions based on age. I don't know. That's a weird one, too. I think people are looking for novel topics. Instead of debating the same topics over and over again, they're trying to find clever. This is the other problem I have with debate is I got to find the clever, interesting motion. And there's urban legends about it. They'll be like, well, the reason that motion was set was so-and-so in the tab room is a student of, is studying foreign relations, and this is their thesis. So that circulated all the time. And in policy debate, the top team doing the weird case was always like a student of their author. They're in a special class with that theorist, and they're teaching them that. They're in a special class just for them, and they're like mentoring them through the argument, and that's why they're running it. And this for years, you hear these same urban legends repeated, which gives a strange continuity to the debate world among people who don't realize they're repeating a urban legend that was, 5 or 6 years ago was being said about different people with a different theorist. But I heard it about Robert Shapiro. I heard about Slavoj Žižek. You hear it about all these hot theorists of the time. I'm sure people have said that about Frank Wilderson, too. Well, they're running it because they're in a special class with him. They're in his class, and he's, like, answering their questions. They're running. It's like, I don't know, it's just as dumb as any other rumors about professional sports. As Julius Caesar, this house would cross the Rubicon River. This is dumb, but it also is a throwback to Roman rhetorical education of what's called the suasorie. So there's like two kinds of declamation. Controversiae, which is usually a question of law. Who's right in this dispute, the civic or criminal dispute in the law in Rome? And you teach people that. Then there's suasorie, which is you advise a historical figure to do or not do something, even though we do know. It's like counterfactual argument because we do know what happened. We do know what happened. But how would you advise them what to do? And this kind of throws back to that, but people do not know. They don't know enough about history to, to do this stuff. Was he really proconsul at this time? I mean, I guess he would be the default sort of, I don't know. He wouldn't be proconsul, though, would he? He'd be like the default praetor in Gaul. But I guess you can't have a praetor unless you have Roman citizens there. But the thing that they miss here is all Roman generals, their authority was just how much they impressed their army. There wasn't really any other thing that's keeping them there. This house prefers the earth has a one-world government. That's kind of a throwaway, weird one. This house would regulate artificial intelligence as a public utility. Probably the best motion in the whole bunch. This house believes Robert A. Banks should not be stupid. Like, go away and never return to a debate tournament again. This is a good one. This house would prohibit platforms using engagement prolonging designs. Or like dopamine generators, right? Space colonization, always a good one. Government of South Korea, this house would ban public spaces and declare themselves child-free zones. I like that. Child-free zones is good. Hello, Alan. Welcome to the stream. As an elected politician who campaigned on their principles, this house would stay true to them even when unpopular. Doesn't make any sense. Like, what if they're unpopular for violating their principles? This is a stupid motion. This house would adopt legislation similar to the United Kingdom's Dangerous Dogs Act of 1991. Now, I like that if it's flagged up that this could come up and then people can research it, or you let people research it when the motion comes up, right? Like, how are people going to know that these things are possible for debate? Hi, Maria. Welcome. It's filling up, guys. The chat's filling up. We love it. We love to see it. We love to see it. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. This house believes NASA should significantly increase its efforts to return to the moon. I like that one. That's a good one. This one is one that everyone can access because the commonplaces are hot. Like the moon race, patriotism, the scientific advances we got from moon rocks. We brought back so many moon rocks that I understand there's like warehouses full of moon rocks and moon dust. In the late 90s, I had a friend who was a botanist, and he was working on trying to grow commercial crops in moon dust, which is like almost like a comedy skit. It's like you come in, you turn on the lights, you're like, well, it didn't grow. Let's try again. But what they were trying to do is, what nutrients do you have to add to the moon dust to get a commercial crop to grow, like a tomato or a cucumber or something? Anyway, he was like, oh, yeah, there's plenty of moon dust. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, you just have to ask for it, say your experiment, you ask for it, NASA sends it to you in a box. I'm like, it's so messed up. So messed up. Anyway, a very cool idea there. Deceptive patterns, dark patterns. What's that one in reference to? Oh, this is the engagement prolonging designs motion. Is that what you're referring to, Alan? All right, God, where's my Tums? I always have to have this nearby when I'm talking about debate. This house prefers written exchanges to live debates as the primary method of public academic discourse. This is status quo. I mean, this person doesn't understand how academics works. Okay, thanks, Alan. Yeah, I wonder if this is like, I mean, I like the idea of it calling it dark patterns or deceptive patterns. I wonder if this is the term of art, is engagement prolonging design. Like, what's the term that's being used in those conference rooms at TikTok, at Meta? What's the term that Zuckerberg is using in Meta management meetings? Is it this term? I don't think it would be dark patterns. I don't know. He's kind of a weirdo. It might be, but I like this term, engagement prolonging design. We're about to have, in my debate class, we're about to have hopefully some AI debates with another school. Maybe we'll use something like that. Where were we? This house supports a global treaty criminalizing ecocide. So my understanding of ecocide is the destruction of an environment wholesale. But would that be strip mining? Would that be cattle grazing? Only 842 pounds, really? Maybe his experiment burned up a lot of it. I don't know. Maybe he's like, maybe he's responsible. I don't know. How do we get, oh yeah, I think Alan's right. How do we get more eyeballs on the site? How do we get more eyeballs on Facebook? Earlier in the stream, I was talking about how Facebook is kind of overlooked. There's a lot of dynamic stuff happening there. Lots of interesting communities I'm a part of. I do think it's for older people. I think maybe I'm biased because I'm like an older person and I look at Facebook every day, and I think I might be biased because I'm like, well, this is an interesting community, but maybe young people aren't interested in that at all. Yeah, exactly. Alan's exactly right. More people looking at ads. I think that's exactly what Zuckerberg wants. But I think ecocide has to be the destruction of environment wholesale. Yeah. Yep. Follow the money. Follow the money.
Oh.
This house believes that prizes are preferable to grants for funding scientific research. I don't think this person understands research at all. Whoever wrote this info slide does not understand research. Grants provide funding for researchers for proposed projects. Well, grants are string free. If you get a grant, it's like, I'm going to do this thing. Here's the grant. And you don't have to, have a kind of a, you don't have to be as specific as something that's like funding. So funding from an institution comes with all these strings and all this stuff. But I always like getting a grant because it's just like, here's $10,000, go to town. Prizes reward the first to achieve a specific scientific goal with fewer restrictions on methods, but the prizes always pay the person back for what they've done. Regardless of funding source, IRB enforce ethical standards to prevent inhumane or exploitive experiments. Yeah, but that doesn't make any sense to put that in the info slide. There should be much more about prizes versus grants. And I mean, there's many, 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 many more grants because these organizations don't offer prizes. Like, they want to solve problems. I don't know, it's kind of stupid. This House believes all major media companies should mandate viewpoint diversity in their editorial boards. Oh, I'm sure that Barry Weiss is on that. This House opposes true crime media. I like this one a lot. That's actually a good one. That'd be a fun one to debate. But again, the debate's not going to be good if these are surprise motions. I think we have to investigate that practice and say, you got 20 minutes to prep, look up some stuff. I think any reasonable audience going into a debate would expect the debaters to know something about it and to present some kind of facts outside of their own opinion, some other voices, something, I would think. This House regrets the prevalence of redemption arcs in literature, television, and film. A redemption arc. Look at these stupid examples. Oh, my God. Okay, redemption arcs have become increasingly common. No, they're increasingly common in your stupid Marvel movies, your stupid anime. In literature, this is a standard, and also in life. I don't know, this is really embarrassing. Embarrassing illiteracy. This House guide, do we dare look at this? Oh, an illiterate, someone who just immediately showed that they do not read literature one bit because they're too busy waiting for the next superhero movie in 3 parts. Garbage Face Man. Oh, the Garbage Face Man comic. I read that as a kid. I can't wait to see Garbage Face Man in IMAX 3D parts 1, 2, and 3. And part 3 is split into 2 movies. And it's coming out at Christmas. And I already bought my ticket ahead of time. Nah. Okay, this House guide. God, debate makes me an angry person. It really does. Yeah, this is not helpful. So, nobody believes this. This House supports this House. These are just placeholders to. It's the way a motion would be set in a Westminster government system. That's it. It doesn't have any of this kind of argumentative theory behind it. This is all made up. Made up. Yeah, Dune 3 is going to be wild. Dune 3 is going to be wild. We have to use the Dateline voice. It's going to be wild. So Baron Harkonnen killed your father. Must have been wild. That must have really upset you, Paul. But the Harkonnens had other plans for Arrakis. I really kind of think they should do a Dateline on Dune. That would be very funny. Oh, those pesky Fremen. Those pesky Fremen. Pretty wild. So then, Baron Harkonnen did the one thing he had to do. He sent in Fayed and Rabban. More on that after this. Yeah, this is dumb. Dumb, 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 dumb. Bad teaching. People are too scared to teach audience-centric reasoning. That's the problem with debate, because people think that that debate goes bad because of a misunderstanding of rules. Debate goes bad because of a misunderstanding of rhetoric. Debate goes bad because RFC 2119 lays out how keywords are used in specs. Is that back to the does that refer back to the scrolling stuff? So you get all your information from TikTok. That's got to be wild. I think that the debate problems are not there's from a lack of the trust in rhetoric. They think everything has to be managed because people are so bad at thinking that they have to have all of these rules. But debate is the only place I can think of, or the only discourse I can think of, where we plan for people to be extremely bad at saying things. Extremely bad. And then we can talk about it and evaluate it. Because nobody's representing something that's like, central to their heart or their soul or something. Doesn't make any sense. Okay. Now that we've done that, horrible activity. Essential for looking at what people think debate is these days. Or even when I was doing it, highly questionable what these people are after and what they're doing. There's a reason people have debate practice when the deans aren't around. Because I think anyone with a functioning, deans don't really have a functioning mind, do they? But anybody who's like interested in education or wants to support educational things, they're going to be hard pressed to hear a good defense of what they're seeing. They'll be like, oh, well, it's just a sport then. It's like a sport. And then some universities move it to the athletic department out of academics completely. University of Rochester moved debate to the athletics department. Very odd. I think it's the wrong move. I think it's an academic program. It should be in an academic venue. Should we have a department of debate? No, but I think the communication department, the rhetoricians, kind of serve that function, right? Kind of serve that function. Language used to make proposals. Oh, I see. I should go look at that because maybe it'd be informative for debate topics. I think that's kind of what you're getting at, Alan. Might be an interesting thing to take a look at. Speaking of interesting things to take a look at, I got to work on my Gorgias lecture. No, I think YouTube blocks the links. I feel like, sadly. Yeah, just toss it in Discord. I'll take a look at it. Seems like an interesting thing. I like interesting stuff. All right. I told them to read like 25 pages. So what would that be? 50 to page 55? So I have to like look at this and kind of figure out what I want to say. What they what we did in class was I set up some questions. This is going to be way down on my recently opened list now. Oh, actually, it's not even going to be there because I did it on another device. Ha! Got tricked by the multiple device fallacy. Is it a fallacy? But it's like Microsoft Word will only keep the recent documents on that machine, not the recent documents on all machines, unless you use the horrific OneDrive. I was a big OneDrive user until I realized the administration could look at everything and reassign it, take my ownership away from it. And that terrified the hell out of me. So I said no. Let's see. Public speaking, October 14th. Nah. So these are the questions I thought that would be interesting for a discussion of Plato's Gorgias. Let me put these up. Who should not be allowed to be trained or taught persuasion? And there's certain people who we should not allow them to study the art of rhetoric, if we think of rhetoric as persuasion. I know that's kind of an oversimplistic definition, but it's a standard definition for a reason. It's if you want to root the founding of rhetoric in the Western world in the Greco-Roman historical context, persuasion is the thing. Can't really avoid it. You can certainly build off of it, but you can't avoid that as the thing you're building off of. Is convincing other people what to do in art or science? And what's at stake in that question? Like if we decide that convincing other people to do is an art, what's at stake in how it's taught, how it's understood, and how it's done? If we say it's a science, then, what's at stake? Should there be legal standards of evidence for everything we say or write publicly? We have slander and libel laws, but should we go farther? Should we have an agreed upon societal definition of evidence? Or one that the law codifies? This is what it means to support a point. That's interesting because, in the New Jersey governor's race, which is getting pretty heated, the Republican candidate, Jack Ciattarelli, has filed a defamation lawsuit against Mikey Sherrill, the Democratic candidate, for a claim she made in a debate against him in one of the gubernatorial debates. So we've reached this new level of fact in society, this new level of fact where even if I make an argument, instead of replying to the argument, you just say, that's not a fact, I'm suing you. Even in a candidate debate. That's wild. Should social media block bad and or fake information if they fail? Should there be legal consequences? And is it better to know what is right or to be convinced of what is right? If you know what is right, is that the superior position to being convinced what is right? And yes, this is sort of the question that you could get into faith about. What is faith? I have faith in the answer. I have faith in this and that. Oh, guys, guess what? My loan has been approved. I just received a text message from Lauren at Lending Quick. Boy, that's, I didn't even think I was getting any good news today. Look at that. Lauren, I know you're a big fan of the podcast. Thank you for calling in. Wow. Well, no one should be allowed to be trained or taught persuasion. Can you persuade me that that's right? To both? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of an easy answer, but what's at stake if we went too far one way or the other? 3, no. 4, no. 5, either one's fine. Well, if I know what's right, I'm not really willing to listen to other people. So that can be a problem. Thanks, Maria. It's my whole life I've been waiting for Lauren from Quick Loans to get back to me about my $60,000 loan. I should have to call her AI ass back and approve it, I guess. Actually, I deleted the voicemail, so I don't even really know how to get in touch with Lauren from Quick Loans. So, oh well. Oh well.
Oh.
Oh well.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
But anyway, this is how I set up the Gorgias. I thought it would be better. Don't know what's right. You were wrong, lol. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good. I think my opinion is knowing what's right doesn't give you any space to reconsider. So it's not a good position to be in. If you're convinced, then you're always open to hearing. And if you think what you believe is good, if you believe what's right is good, this gives you a chance to work on your position and your reasons for it. We never have any chances with reconsideration because we're like, well, facts speak for themselves. and the truth is apparent and obvious. I think these are very, very, very bad ways to reason. I think reasoning is best happens with other people. I think reasoning best happens with reading and sharing what you've read in your own words with other people and having them push back on it. I think that reasoning best happens in groups, because you have to defend what you think instead of just saying, oh, well, all those people are biased liberals, I'm not going to speak to them. You don't get the opportunity for better defenses or better articulation of what you believe. Yeah, what works is kind of what I'm saying too. Like, it's kind of an old-fashioned conservatism. Like, if a policy or a belief in society works and it works well, it deserves regular criticism. But why would we not want that criticism if we know that it's right? So this is what drives me nuts about liberals. I'll just give a very specific example where they're like, you can't question or argue my rights. Like, where do you think your rights came from? They came from this kind of questioning and arguing and all this. And the better rights are out there. The challenge and the arguing about rights aren't something you have. There's something you practice. And there's something that are provided. And debates about rights are incredibly important because it helps you refine and think through other rights you should have. Articulations of rights that are exclusive. I think a lot of our rights are exclusive, or they assume a group of people unquestioningly, and then when you try to extend those rights, it's like, huh? And we don't really deal with that too much in the U.S. In Rome, that was the heart of rhetorical education, was everybody knew that the rights extended to Roman citizens. Everybody unquestioningly believed that. The question was, does it only extend to Roman citizens? Or in making those kinds of arguments and those kind of claims, are you inadvertently arguing that non-Roman citizens can access rights? Huge question, and at the heart of the fungibility and survivability of the empire. Like, can everybody have rights? Geez, I don't know. But they wanted to see the limits of argument of Roman culture and evidence. They want to see the limits of that, so they proposed those things. So yeah, so these are the questions we're gonna look at Gorgias with. And it's ancient Athens, so it's a different culture than Rome. They draw a lot on it, but this is a little bit far removed. A lot of Roman thinkers and Roman rhetoricians would have known about Gorgias and would have known the Gorgias and would have been able to read it in the original Greek. And we know somewhat of what they thought about it. The Gorgias is the classic fight of whether or not we should teach persuasion and whether or not persuasion's worth teaching. If we should teach it, who should teach it? How does it work? So I have to kind of put this together today. But I like this translation quite a bit. Let me show you. So I like these footnotes. I don't know if you can read that. This scan is like kind of bad. But like, this is an excellent footnote about art versus science, talked about in our terms, so that we can understand the argument Socrates is trying to make. Socrates is no innocent questioner. He has an agenda. He has an axe to grind. His method is to ask these questions to try to get people to either contradict themselves or to forget a postulate he's offered earlier and then catch them in a contradiction. These two things cannot be true at the same time, so we have to go back to where we diverged and ask that question again and go the other way and see if we get further that time without a contradiction. And this method is called the enlekos in Greek, and it was well known. In fact, some people at the time thought Socrates was a sophist and that this was his method of sophistry. I don't know who. I guess it would be Aristophanes is the person I think of who would have believed that. Or we have evidence he believed that. But I think a lot of people would have lumped him in there But he would have been an unusual sophist because he didn't take money. He thought taking money for knowledge was corrupt. So he wouldn't like my job. That's for sure. I kind of always feel like I should do a dramatic reading of this with the students, but I don't think they want to do it. In war and battle, Socrates, this is the way to do your part, they say. Oh my, did we show up too late after the feast, as the saying goes? And very much of a stylish feast at that, because Gorgias laid out a display of many beautiful things for us a little while ago. So anyway, this is all the intro where they get into it. And what's going to happen is they're going to say, well, Gorgias said he wouldn't leave until everyone's questions were satisfied. So maybe we can go and question him. He's like, oh, but he's also staying at my house. And I want to figure out what power belongs to the man's art and what it is he claims he teaches. So there's two things Socrates says that he wants. He doesn't want the display. He wants to know what art it is and how he teaches it. Because Socrates is going to say it's not an art, and therefore it can't be taught. Or since it can't be taught, it's not an art. It kind of goes both ways. He's going to say that speech is the art, is the way that all other things are taught. So it's not a subject in and of itself. You can't teach persuasive speaking. It's how every other subject is taught. That's what he's going to argue. Gorgias is like, yeah, I'll answer every question. The fool. Gorgias is so tired. So Paulus and Chaerephon are like the students of the people. So Paulus is like Gorgias' apprentice, and Chaerephon is Socrates' student. So that's what we're going to work on. I'm going to do that later today. I was going to do it here on the stream, but maybe we could talk about something else. Or we can talk about this. It's really up to you guys watching the stream. But I have to do like 50 pages of this. Also, we can also make fun of, oh, good. I got an email back I was going to ask about today. Very good. I'm just looking at my email. Hapax logomenons. What does that mean? I don't know that one. Logomenons. Logo, something about language. I don't know one. Oh, I also agree. I see your earlier chat here, Alan. I also agree that it's the way we've always done it is very dangerous. But this is often the defense we get from a non-confrontational, fact-based epistemology. We're like, well, it's always worked in the past, which is like a fallacy. I mean, something can work for you. Like, think about it in terms of faith versus knowing versus believing. Believing is much better because you're like, well, my reasons are it's worked in the past. It has this advantage, that advantage. Since it's in the realm of belief, you always have to be defending it. And so criticism can always come, and you can always say, oh, now we have a better reason, or we've noticed this flaw, or there is a better way to do it because we're not convinced. We're not completely on the side of that. Wow. Corpus for work. Is that where you found it? Pretty wild. Pretty weird. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the PowerPoint. But I feel like the PowerPoint is I gotta send this on. Okay. Corpus of work. Oh, is that what it means? Hapax legomenons. Is that what it means? Corpus of work? Socrates never wrote anything. He's sort of a character in Plato's writings. If he did write anything, it didn't survive. But according to Plato, Socrates was very suspicious of writing. He thought writing would kill your ability to think. So in that way, I think Socrates is kind of like us in relation to social media and young people. We're like, their dependence on social media for their view of the world, for their knowledge, for everything, is killing their ability to think critically and killing their ability to, I don't know, speak, discuss, whatever we call critical thinking. I don't even think critical thinking is such a bad phrase because we don't have any agreement on it. What does it mean to critically think? I think writing to think is exactly what writing is for. I think it's exactly right. Socrates was suspicious of it because he thought we become graphophilic. We'd fall in love with writing, and we would love the beautiful writing. It's the same fear he has of spoken rhetoric, that we'll fall into the trap of it being beautiful, and then we won't pay attention to the content. So whenever I teach Gorgias, I talk about how Gorgias was really, really good at public performance. And one of the things that worried Plato about the public performance is that Gorgias's public performances would be rhyming, poetic, and really interesting. So it's almost the same concern with contemporary rap music or hip hop, which is they're saying really offensive and terrible things about race, women. They're being extremely violent. And everybody's like, this is a jam. And they're like smiling and dancing around to these horrible lyrics. And that was the manifest content was the problem. And so they were like, Gorgias's content is discernibly empty. They're attracted to the form, the rhyming poetry and the performance of the man and his amazing voice. And many contemporaries said Gorgias had an amazing accent because he was Italian. He wasn't Greek, right? So there are lots of reasons to fear him. Good morning, samples and tests. Samples and tests is here. We're going to get some interesting comments. I don't know how much longer I should stream, though. Been going at it for like 2 hours now. Now, granted, the first hour was very quiet, and nobody really came by. But maybe I should do it next week at 10, because that seemed to be when everybody kind of showed up. It seems like a more natural time to jump on the computer. What do you guys think? 10 o'clock maybe? Might be better. So Socrates thinks that writing can dull the senses, but there is a way. He talks about another dialogue, Phaedrus. There is a way where we can have a kind of a rhetoric that would be good, and it's a kind of a rhetoric that it's very odd, but it's a rhetoric that gets us closer to the actual truth through a kind of disciplining of the body and a disciplining of the mind in relations with one another. So it's a very strange dialogue. Maybe I'll do a Phaedrus video. It's been a while since I taught Phaedrus, but I teach Gorgias all the time, so this one sticks with me. This one stays with me, but also Gorgias is kind of like the initial defense of rhetoric as an art. And even though Gorgias's arguments are written by Plato, who is not on his side, some of them are pretty defensible. Some of them are pretty good. But I just got to figure out how I want to break this down. I don't know. What's page? It's not really a long read. I didn't give him a long reading. What, 53? So it's just for the beginning of the thing. And then Socrates makes his weird death penalty argument here. I don't know. It's an interesting dialogue. It's worth reading. And I think I'll film my class. Maybe I'll put it on YouTube. We'll see. I'll film my teaching of it because I do need a good Gorgias video, but I don't feel like I don't feel like I have the time to do a long YouTube video like in this style, like here in studio. I might just film my classroom and just be like, hey, students, if you talk, Your voice might be on YouTube. Are you cool with that? And if they say no, then I can just edit out the student comments. But I'm in a teaching group, like a pedagogy improvement group at my university, where we are all working on becoming better teachers. And part of it is watching each other in class, which is a big ask. It's a lot of time. And I don't know when or if I'll be able to go watch somebody teach. I don't know. I'm going to try, but it's very tough for me. And one of the things I did in the pedagogy group was I was like, well, I'll save my friends some time, and I'll pop my GoPro on in class and just record the session. So one day I just took my GoPro 13, I just took it, popped it on a tripod, set it down, hit record, told the class, here's what I'm doing, here's why I'm doing this. Hit record, taught the class. It did not change the class dynamic one bit. Did not change the class dynamic one bit. Then I just pushed the button again. Well, a student did want to like talk to me about something private, so she went up and stopped the camera before she talked to me. She's like, "Oh my gosh, it's really hot." And then I remembered I forgot to tell the GoPro not to film in 4K. It really heats up, and it filmed like an hour and a half lecture in 4K. So I had these 2 lectures. I popped them on the YouTube in not private mode, but unlisted mode. And then I sent the links to the group, and people flipped out. They're like, how'd you do this? Like the other professors are like, how did you do this? And it's just funny how sometimes what we know and what we take for granted looks like magic or mystery to people who are not familiar with those methods. Like, I'm very comfortable with the camera. I'm comfortable talking to the camera. I like making videos. I wish I had more time to do it, and I wish that they were watched by more people. But this kind of thing was like, how did you do that? And I was like, well, I pick a GoPro because it's inexpensive. This is a $400 camera. I guess it's inexpensive, but compared to if you went to a camera store and you said, I want to shoot videos, they might try to sell you a $2,000 camera or $1,200 or $1,000. But a GoPro is also very small, and it's just a one-button operation. Click, and you're filming, and that's it. And the lens is wide enough to capture both you and the screen and the chalkboard, whiteboard. Everything you're doing at the front of the room is easily capturable because of the fisheye effect. Now, the fisheye effect is annoying if you're trying to shoot like a birthday party, but it's wonderful if you're trying to capture PowerPoint and stuff you're doing in the front of the classroom. So I just said I do that, and then I just put it on YouTube, which is easy. Just drag and drop. YouTube will convert the video. Sometimes you need to edit it. You can use iMovie for that. It's all free and very easy. Got some comments here in the chat that I should turn to. Premature optimization. Yeah, this sounds like the work of a dean. Is where you try to make solutions for problems that don't exist. Like assessment. It's a huge one right now. Yeah, play it back at 2x. That's really kind of that's the way we do things now, is we play everything back at double time. And the famous Clark quote, a sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. I have a visitor. External microphones to the GoPro used to be essential. Like when I had my GoPro 7 or my GoPro 9, which I ruined by throwing it in the pool all summer, like really like throwing it hard in the pool. Those videos turn out to be really cool, by the way. But jumping in the pool with it just to see what it looked like. That destroyed the GoPro 9. And what ended up happening was I sent it back to GoPro because they have this replacement guarantee. And they were like, well, we don't have any more GoPro 9s, but we'll send you a 10. They sent me a 10 with a battery. Pretty good deal. I don't ever use the 10. Actually, I took the 10 out jet skiing because I was like, well, I'll break this one too. Why not? Let's put the Long Island Sound water right into it. And all that. But yeah, in the past, external microphone was really necessary. The GoPro 13, the microphone is great. Now, is it echoey in the classroom? Yeah, because the classroom is made of cinder block. So you get a little bit of echoey, but it's totally serviceable. Totally serviceable. Here, I'll show you. Let's see if we can do this. I'm going to have to change my sound around here a little bit. So it's not going to go on YouTube or anything. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay. So the case assignment, 11 people did it.
I stayed up too late.
Is there the people? So who this is didn't just do with the it, onboard How mic. can I help you be successful?
I don't remember. Did I do it or not?
I don't know. Let's look at some. Well, maybe this will help. We'll just go through them. Here's the thing. Like, I was so happy. I was so happy because of the case assignments I looked at, and I just kind of randomly went through them this morning. I was like so happy because nobody got it wrong. Now you see how far away I am from the camera there? I'm at least 2 or 3 feet away. And I'm not even speaking at the camera's mic. It's picking it up pretty well. I don't think I need an external mic. What do you guys think? All of the things can be easily fixed. Also, look at this death hospital 1950s sanitarium style of St. John's. Like, this is where I've worked for almost 20 years now, is in these horrible, horrible classrooms, you know. Small mistakes. That's great. This means a couple of things to me. Now, you might be like, oh, he's so off base. It means you're reading, you read the book. It means you looked at that. It means you looked at the examples. It means you paid attention to what we talked about. But I felt like I didn't do as good a job teaching it as the quality of what I got back. So good job to you. And also, for the past year and a half, almost all my classes, with any of the exception of the one that Ava has been in, have been kind of shit. So good job to you guys. This is a good. I am. This is a good. This is a good class. So everybody's right where you need to be. If you were very nervous about handing that assignment in, you were like, well, here goes, I don't really know what I'm doing. Why is a remote mic always better? I just don't agree with that. What's wrong with this audio? Yeah, chalkboard. The chalkboard was invented in 1836, so we're up to date with our tech. I think that the chalkboards are just a part of the St. John's experience, but they also don't provide chalk. You have to bring your own chalk. So it's just like the cheapest ass way to run a university imaginable. Can you hear the AC? I don't think that's the... Well done, right? Is that the AC? Now we'll go through and talk about some of the small mistakes as we go through, but I think that's just the ambience. I think that's just the ambient noise. Background is hard to listen to. I don't know. I mean, everybody's at least got the melody down. We might be on different pages of the song, but is it really that distracting? Does it make sense? So we are good, and I think we're gonna have some good debates in here. Oh, I don't want to pick up student voices. They're just kind of in the background. But what I could do is run both audios, right? I could cut myself out, have the lapel mic, cut myself out, and then when the students talk, put the secondary audio in, because I would run both audios anyway to get the synchronization down. Now, with the GoPro 13, you can connect a Bluetooth mic live. I don't trust that one bit, because here's what happens. You shoot your 2-hour lecture. You go to look at it, and the Bluetooth lost connection halfway through, and you have no audio. Zero. None. That seems unsafe. I'm such a person who thinks the tech is going to fail that I'm I need a backup if I'm going to do that. So I'm going to have an external recorder. No, I don't really want to pick up their voices because, there's a lot of issues with that. Like if I'm making a YouTube video, some people don't want identifying information out on the internet. They might need to sign a release. Let's say that my YouTube channel becomes successful. I don't think that's going to happen. But if it ever did happen, then I'm making money off of this, and they need to sign a release. Like if you were asking a question in class and your voice was identifiable. Here's another one. What if somebody has a restraining order against somebody? And somebody's looking for every St. John's video they can. They're identify their voice. They can figure out. Creepers have done better with less information. They can look at this and figure out what room or what building. Then they can look at a schedule, figure out what time of a day the debate class has. They have my name. They can come and murder that person. That's an extreme example, but not that extreme. People have all kinds of complicated lives, restraining orders, identity changes, things like that. You'd have a problem for listening to that more than a minute? That's wild. Is there any background noise on this stream? I hope not. Very expensive. I use a filter in Shotcut or OBS to get the AC, to reduce the AC in my office. This is a good idea. If you have like something blowing at the mic, I think it's good. But this is just ambiance. Yeah, it's a good mic. The GoPro 13 is a really good mic. But it's also not. It's also hard to distinguish these people. It's hard to distinguish an identity. I certainly don't want the students on camera. There's a power differential too. Like if I'm like, oh, we're going to film a video, I'm going to turn around when you're asking a question. The students can't say no because they're going to be worried that their grade will suffer because of the power differential. Okay, so this is the sound you want, Alan. Well, I have experimented with mics in the past, and I don't think the difference is that, because whatever this ambiance is, it's definitely not an air conditioner. There's no air conditioner in this room. This room is doesn't even have HVAC, and it's just the ambiance of the old building. So can a microphone really cut that out? I can understand, like, Samples and Tests says, can I use your real name? I don't know. Anyway, Samples and Tests says when he's recording a video in the office, he filters out the air conditioner. That makes sense because that's a blower. There's no blower in here making that noise. That's just the ambient sound. That's the sound of the space. Yeah, but the heater's not on. In fact, we just got the email that the heat's being turned on next week. Interesting. Okay. Samples and Tests. Real name is Bartholomew. Bartholomew Reisenheim II. I don't know. Okay, I'll try it. I'll try it for you guys if you want. I do have some external microphone stuff, but I just really like, maybe in the editor, maybe if I put it in the editor, I can just filter out the sound from the sound editor. Can I do that? Is that enough, or do I really need an external mic? Because what a pain in the ass. They're turning on the heat this week, maybe next week. Actually, I just got the email. Let me read it to you. Yeah, but can I just filter it out in post? Or do I actually need a lapel mic? I feel like it'd just be easier to filter it out in post, right? Oh, man. Did I? Gotta go through my personal email here. I thought it was just going to come right up. Well, I deleted it, I guess, but where is it? Oh, yeah, here we are. We get these emails all the time. Please be advised, the St. John's University's Department of Campus Facilities and Services will switch the heating, ventilation, air conditioning, HVAC systems on all buildings from summer to winter mode by Monday, October 27th. Oh, late this year, because everybody was dying. Dedicated mic will be way better than the post. Okay. Experiment with the filters. Yeah, that's probably a given before I go out. I do have a lapel mic, but I just never use it. The filters can be pretty amazing. It's true. They can do pretty amazing things. I'll still say, does this really sound far away to you? Does that video really sound far away to you, Maria? Let's try to find a spot in the video where I'm really far away. So, let me see if I can figure out how to do that. There we go. It's right there. The journalist did all the work for you. So it should be like, Dr. Smith said this. And then when you cite it in the bibliography. So what's interesting in my headphones, I'm getting really, really amazing stereo separation in my right ear, because it's on the right side of the screen here. I'm getting crazy stereo separation. I didn't know the GoPro 13 could do that well. Be like, this doctor from this thing quoted in this article written by this journalist on this day from the New York Times. Home run. That's true. Maria works with hearing aids, but not in the way that you think she works with hearing aids. She doesn't have hearing aids. All right, the little dog won't leave me alone, so I'm going to have to take her outside, but I will return, and we'll continue our conversation in just a moment.
Okay, I'm sorry that I ain't shit. Sorry I'll make it to the A-list. Sorry all I do is get faded. Sorry that I wasn't thinking about you when I married this. I'm sorry that I leave that shit on red, I never say shit. Sorry I felt shit. Sorry all I'm trying to do is sell shit. Sorry I'm so motherfucking selfish. I'm sorry that I ain't shit. I said I'm sorry that I ain't shit. Sign me up for the 27th club. And tell my fam I love them when I start to strut. Death is on the way and I'ma let it come. But look me in the face and ask me if I give a Looking in the mirror, can't see my reflection. All I see is powder and she got a wet complexion. All we do is use each other, I don't learn my lesson. They told me if you love her then you better just accept it. And I'm sorry I'll make it to the A-list. Sorry all I do is get faded. Sorry that I wasn't thinking about you when I married this. I'm sorry that I leave that shit on red, I never say shit. Sorry I felt shit. Sorry all I'm trying to do is sell shit. Sorry I'm so motherfucking selfish. I'm sorry that I ain't shit. I said I'm sorry that I ain't shit.
Okay, we're back. Are you guys still here? Hopefully. Nobody messed with the computer lab when I was gone. I just checked every computer.
The guy from Erdogan, the guy.
Oh yeah, Erdogan.
Yeah, he's like, well, nobody knows more.
It's
about
amazing how
elections.
clear this is.
I sold that.
But I was thinking while I was outside with the dog, do you think the difference between you guys and me is that, so I like the kind of the warm sound, like the vinyl crack, the vinyl pop, and maybe you guys prefer a more digital sound, like something very clean. What say you? What say you? You lose some high frequency information. Is that what you're, or does it mean high fidelity information? What does HF mean? Does it mean high frequency or high fidelity? Well, I think I'm going to do these videos every Wednesday. But I think I'm going to go from like 10 to noon. I think that's probably the best time to do it because then I can do some other stuff and this and that. My YouTube recommendation is really weird. I mean, on cinema, I get wrestling. I get Stardew Valley. I don't get the Asmongold. Zoran Mamdani is geographic. Judge orders attorney's arrest. That seems like a guess. Solo journaling. I do watch a lot of videos on journaling. Maybe it's... All right, well, what we can do now is maybe you guys can help me shop for a microphone. What sort of microphone should I buy? I don't know what HF means, high frequency or high fidelity. Not sure. Anyway, look at this. Professional lavalier microphones. This is like way too much. I just want something kind of easy. But you know, this just opens up to like a whole new level of production where it just gets annoying because I have to go and match the sound up with, oh, that's really cute. Look at that. But you see, this is like designed for a phone. Why would you put a mic on the dog like that? That's disgusting. I don't want to hear my dog slurping away. Nobody wants that noise in their life. This is nice road. I don't know, guys. This just looks like a pain in the ass. I had one that had memory on it. And the memory on it would save the audio, and then I could work with it that way. But it's still just a pain in the ass to sync it up. And then it's never really worth all the trouble. It really isn't worth the trouble because the lapel mic was not any better than the onboard mic. So, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, folks, I think I'm going to wrap up the stream here. Time to wrap up the stream. I just got a text message. Maybe it's another loan. Let's see. Nope. Family chat. But thanks for joining in. I think I'm going to go because it's lunchtime. And we'll do this again next Wednesday. I think we should do it again next Wednesday. But if you would like to support the stream, you're welcome to do so by sending a donation of any kind at co-fi.com/Deviano, my name there. Great way to support the stream. And you can also send me an email. I always get interesting emails from people who I never would imagine are watching the stream. You can just email me my school address, janos@stjohns.edu. That's it for the stream today. We went 2 hours and 40 minutes. That's pretty good, I think. Pretty good, right? Well, yeah, it is my best. But, that's pretty good, I think. Pretty good stream. And, yeah, I suppose that that's it.
Oh.
So, have a great day. See you guys in the next stream. And there'll be more videos to come. More and more content on the way. So Wednesdays, 10 to noon. Please join us. Support the stream. And I'll see you guys later. Bye for now.
So it is like a beacon for me, and all that we can see, the light that we can believe. So you see, a love that's lost too deep. The dawn shines down on the sea. The ghost is all